Good morning, good morning. Thank you all for joining. We've got a full number jumping on. Welcome to our second webinar. So we held our first one 2 weeks ago today. It went very well, Josiah, didn't it?
Yeah, sure did. Got some awesome, I think everyone took something out of it. Well, I definitely did anyway. Sort of a few key points, I guess, was you'll elaborate further, but a few of them were doing the little things, the simple things that make a guest stay more memorable. And another thing for me too was, I think was it LinkedIn came up. Something else on that, Brent? Or?
Yes, yeah, that did come up for discussion. It's probably fair to say not a huge number in the industry active on LinkedIn, particularly in the motel sector. But we can say more of that on that point a bit later, can't we?
Yeah.
One of the other key points from the first session too was packaging things up. So we talked about working in with other tourism providers, didn't we, locally in your town or region, and offering packages. So whether it's 3 nights and a horse riding activity or something for a family, something like that. So it was a great session. We trust everybody took at least one golden nugget that they could apply to their business, because that's the purpose of these sessions, isn't it? We don't claim to have all the answers, and you guys are the professionals, but all we hope to do really is to share some ideas that you can put into action that perhaps you'd never thought of or haven't tried yet. And obviously talking to customers right across the country, we do pick up a range of things that are working and not working, and glad to share those. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Daniel Fleming. He's joined us today from King and Queen Suites in New Plymouth. Thank you, Daniel, and we look forward to you sharing ideas and different things.
Daniel, do you want to carry on?
Sorry, I just you froze for a second.
Sorry, Daniel, you got me now.
That's all right. Yeah, you had a good pose though. No, thanks, Brendan. Josiah, it's a pleasure to be joining you this morning, and yeah, thanks so much for the opportunity. We really appreciate that. I'm not sure if I can share too many golden nuggets this morning, but maybe some good taranaki oil instead. Some good energy that keeps us all going, right? So, thanks so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Daniel. So, look forward to everybody chipping in. The bottom of your screens there, you'll see a little speech bubble, which indicates a chat. Please contribute and participate. So fire your comments and questions on that chat there, and be free to ensure it sends to all panelists and attendees. You can select that on your chat. So fire those through, because we'd love to hear what you've got to say. Moving on to the first point we wanted to cover today, creativity attract guests. And then you'll have some good points here, no doubt. But like never before, we have to get creative, don't we, to bring these guests back. There's fewer to go around than there was. What do you think?
Oh, awesome. Hey, so we've worked hard to try and get people back into taranaki, and I think it's about creating demand. We didn't want to sit there and just expect that people would come back, so we've gone hard on social media. We've done more than we ever have before, and we've tried to just get in front of as many people as possible. And we've actually had guests travelling to New Plymouth and actually staying with us because they've been so bombarded with positive social media that they said we had to come because it pops up in our newsfeed 3 or 4 times a day. And so we've tried to make it less about the sale and more about the experience too. So what we've done is we've really said to our guests, come and experience our region, and we've been sharing things like the best restaurants in New Plymouth. We've been sharing stories around the best attractions and great pictures of the Monga and Mount Taranaki and different experiences, the coastal walkway, the parks, and some of those neat things, to give people a sense that we are open for business and things are relatively normal here, and actually it's just a wonderful place to come to. And I do feel like in the regions we're pretty blessed. We've had this space. We're not a huge tourism destination. We have 80% domestic tourists and 20% international in Taranaki, and our hotel, King and Queen Hotel Suites, reflects those numbers pretty much to the point. So we're in this great position where our attractions are mostly all free. We've got this wonderful art gallery. We've got the beaches, the mountains, and wonderful art and culture and food. Nothing that overly costs too much. So for people looking for value at the moment, it's been a great destination for them to come to, where they're not rubbing shoulder to shoulder. And then also the boutique hotel experience, where we have more room and you're not lining up on the front desk to check out, and just a bit of space. We've certainly tried to push that as well as a unique selling point, because we do feel like that's a bit of an advantage for smaller businesses at the moment. We don't want to be in large crowds and are still a little bit sensitive around the impacts of COVID. So we've gone out on social media, but we've done a whole lot of work working with our OTAs to maximize visibility. We're developing a new website at the moment. We're doing a whole lot of stuff around promotions of packages, and that's actually been incredibly successful. We've always done packages in the past, right? But to be honest, we've always done that just so people understand that they can, they can enjoy the whole hospitality experience and more around promotion. But literally, there is no better time now than to come and stay with us. And the rates that we're doing, we're not putting those rates out there on their own. They're packaged through inclusions of beverage credits and wine and cheese, and stay for 3 nights, pay for 2, have been picked up incredibly well. And so within the first week of us launching those, we would have sold already tens of thousands of dollars worth of vouchers and stays from people who are just really passionate about trying to support local. And so we've been, again, pushing that message, and we'll be doing some video campaigns and working with our local regional partners, Venture Taranaki and the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm quite involved in the Chamber of Commerce as well, so I chair that. So we're just we're selling the whole region, we're packaging all that together, and we're working with everybody. And honestly, from doing grab one deals to direct promotion, selling vouchers, we've had really good success, which has certainly exceeded all of our expectations. So we feel really blessed actually to be covering the way we are.
Fantastic, Daniel. Yeah, I think he's nailed creativity, hasn't he, Josiah? Good on you, Daniel. Well done. Yeah.
It's the first time I've had a beard though, so my wife feels like I haven't quite nailed it yet, but creative's still coming.
Yeah, I noted you comment on vouchers. That was something I'd seen too. I'm not sure who you use. Star, STAAH. They offer sort of voucher software, don't they, whereby you can. I noticed one hotel, it might have been Shadow Tongariro, was it? That doing a voucher scheme, which had been very, very successful. I think they'd pulled in $10,000 over Queen's birthday weekend alone.
Yeah.
Do you have more to say on that?
Yeah, I mean, vouchers are interesting. So we, again, with all these decisions at the moment, as part of our marketing plan, we've made sure that our spend is minimal. We don't have any funds for sales and marketing at the moment. If we do that, they're very small. So we've just had to be really sensible about every way that we approach this. So looking specifically at vouchers, we're just using our regular voucher process, which is through our property management system. And we have an inquiry status in our system instead of reservation. So we use that system. So we haven't invested in any technology for vouchers.
Wow.
We sell vouchers, and every year we actually sell a whole lot of Christmas vouchers and experiences for anniversaries or birthdays throughout the year too. So it's always been quite good for us. And we're fortunate we do attract that leisure market through the beautiful Moroccan and European furnishings and the feeling of the experience. So the local market for us, farmers, people from South Taranaki who live 15 minutes or 30 minutes away, they've been the people buying these vouchers, and we're giving people a short time to use these deals. So we're saying, there's a bit of that power selling, and it's just 3 months from now until the end of July. Purchase something now, but if you buy a voucher now, then you can use it to the end of the year. And we've put all of our packages, and we've done a whole series of those, from a romantic package with it's $280 a night in a suite that's normally valued at $300 by itself. They get $100 to spend at our restaurants and bars as a credit, wine and cheese. And so people can book in a stay, and they have, or they purchase one for them, and some people come in and buy one for them, one for their friends, one for their family. We've done our best to look after the community too. So for example, we're doing everything we can to pay all our suppliers, all of our landlords. So we own a big part of the hotel business itself, and the bricks and mortar. So we own 75% of our asset, but we do lease one wing in a restorative White Hart block. So we intentionally have made sure we've prioritised spending to our landlord, and as a result, he's come over and he's bought $1,500 worth of vouchers just to say thanks, because he's just so grateful.
Wow.
We're the only ones paying rent. So that goodwill, and if we all can play our part in that, actually that all comes around in a positive way too. So it's just working very on there. And I mean, I was down at, we've got a coffee roastery on site called Ozone, and that was, I was having a coffee down there the other day, and all the locals say, how do we support you? How do we make sure your hotel's successful? And how's it all going? And this elderly couple chatting away, saying, oh, things are tough, but hey, we're starting to see some positive signs of recovery. They said, well, hey, why don't we come up and buy a voucher? So they walked with me from the coffee roastery up to the lobby, gave me their credit card and said, we're just going to buy a voucher. We don't even know who it's for, but we just want to support you. So there's been this really cool element of kindness. And I think more than ever, we've got to value our locals, because the locals are actually the people that are keeping us afloat and giving us the most support.
Fantastic, Daniel. That's excellent. I love that about supporting your locals, and I don't think that's beyond any of us really. Whether we're motel or hotel, in some small way we can do that, can't we?
Absolutely.
That's
good.
Love that. I think that's creativity in a nutshell.
yeah, I think you've nailed it, Daniel. Thanks for that.
Well, I think. You're welcome. Just on that.
Yeah, go on, Daniel. Go on.
Sorry. Just on that local piece. Just that's a massive market, regardless of COVID or not. That a lot of hotels don't tap into. So you can't underestimate that there's a massive market for people who are just renovating their homes. Everyone wants an excuse. So all you got to do is provide people with a couple of excuses, and they say, oh, let's just stay a night in a hotel, go out for a dinner, have a breakfast, and have a wonderful experience. So we should all be thinking of that as part of our constant sales and marketing strategy moving forward, because there is a nice little bit of money there. Yes,
love it. Yeah, I love it. What you said about that. People are looking for an excuse. I mean, we can relate to that, can't we? And us as moteliers and hoteliers, let's give them that excuse.
Yeah,
we'll give them a reason. Yeah, great. Our topics are fairly diverse today because we have a diverse audience, which is fantastic. Housekeeping tips and tricks. I'm sure you got something on this, Daniel. What we're thinking, particularly along the lines of using the right products, but the right equipment, and I suppose primarily thinking about time invested as well. I mean, it's a challenging time, as we know, in terms of costs and resources, and how to utilize that, maximize what we get from the people we have, making the job as easy as we can, with the right equipment, right products. I don't know, did you have some comments there? Let's go, Daniel. Yeah.
Oh no, just you go for it. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I think that's good, Brent. I mean, there's lots of little hacks. I think if you look online to save time and make cleaning easier. And the other point we wanted to note was that, I mean, there's never been a time when cleanliness has been more important. That's probably one of the number one things that guests are looking for at the moment, is that there's no skimping on the cleaning, but also it's a balance between that and getting the most out of your staff. But Daniel, you'll have some more real life tips on that one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, housekeeping has always been incredibly important. It's got a well maintained and exceptionally clean product, isn't it? At the end of the day, regardless of the age of your property, we always want to make sure it's looking as new as possible. So, with housekeeping, I think the easiest way to control that is, through your good process and standards. And I won't talk about that because that's just everyone's doing it and everyone does it well. And more from a productivity point, so I've actually taken the roster back into my own hands, and I've always found that the best way to control productivity but still get great cleaning outcomes is just through a great roster. So we find that even if we put extra people on, we're probably going to get the same productivity because everyone naturally slows down. So you're just trying to always find that perfect balance. And if we can achieve that, you find that your people, because they're all keen to get out at a reasonable time of the day, will naturally provide their own productivity, and through good checks and balances, your standards are there. So I've taken that roster back, which is something I don't normally do, but just because I understand the financial impact, and with our wage subsidies and what we are controlling and what we're paying our team. And there's this really interesting balance at the moment, because we're trying to pay everybody as much as we possibly can, and we've put some staff members back on their full salaries now. And actually, we've made nobody redundant through the process, which has been a great win. But we've had some fun trying to balance out this everyone's 80% of their normal work without overshooting that or undershooting that and wasting anything. So that's been quite a fun little jump. We've also reviewed a lot of our costs and housekeeping, and again, the key to this is how can we not impact on the guest experience whilst making some sensible changes to our business. So take robes and slippers, for example. We've actually we made the call to take robes and slippers out of all of our rooms apart from our suite. So any room with a bathtub has slippers and robes, and robes and slippers are still there for guests to request, but they're not going to be in those rooms. So automatically that might save us, if it's costing anywhere from sort of $4 to $5 to wash a robe, and then suddenly you're taking out $10 or $12 from a room, which is something I'd rather give that at the moment to the guest as far as a value add or a bottle of wine or something, because that actually goes further, and funnily enough, no one's ever noticed. And same things like fresh milk. So we had fresh milk in all of our suites, and we used to throw out a lot because it just sits there sometimes. We've always had the pod milk as well, so we had both. But now we've got we're just taking the milk from our individual rooms, and we'll put that back into our fridges in the reception area, and on request we deliver that to anybody. So again, hasn't impacted on anybody, but we're not throwing anything away. We get artisan biscuits made, which are expensive things, but they are part of the experience. So we've found some nice biscuits, and we've got a mixture of some more affordable options, which still package well and look great, probably from you guys actually. And then we've combined that with a few from the bakery. So it still kind of looks like there's a nice variation. But we're being in some ways a little bit more generous because we can reduce that cost. So all these things are just some smarter ways of looking at everything, from servicing the rooms and linen and towels, and there's a fine balance between taking things out. So we're just trying to get that right, and so far I think those changes have been successful. Excellent,
Daniel. Well done, and that covers it well, and a natural lead into that next point too, Josiah, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the two go hand in hand. We had some cost cutting ideas there. I think it's.
Oh, there you go.
I think so. That's great, and I think the key words here are the last two, without compromise. And I think you've and there's a spelling mistake there too, by the way.
I'm just going to comment on that one.
Compromise and the compromise.
Yeah, we're not perfect. Yeah, but what you're saying, Daniel, it's a little tip, and this won't apply to perhaps many of you, but I know of some hotels that a simple thing like on a fine day before you clean the room, opening the windows and pulling the blinds, just giving the room a good air out. You might say, what does that achieve? But it's proven to reduce mold levels and that sort of thing, and it's particularly in older properties. So these are just little things we can do with absolutely no extra cost. Just simply great practice. Do you have anything on this, Joe?
Yeah, it's probably just a few little practical ideas really, but a few of the things here we thought was, once again, it links to the housekeeping topic, but such things as your cleaning products, so your chemicals and that kind of thing. Perhaps hold another staff meeting so that they know the dilution rates. Look at putting in the what do you call them, dispensers that actually dilute it automatically for you. So you're doing the correct, you're not wasting chemical. Those little tips that save $1 here, $1 there, it all adds up. And then you had some more points, Brent, I think, on was it sort of your power and water and that kind of thing?
Yeah, again, it's another idea, sharing from another property, and this is a balancing act. You don't want signs all over the place, do you, Daniel? But one property, just obviously save water signs and things, reuse your towel and that sort of thing. But this would depend from property to property. But these are little things that we need to consider now. What do you think?
It all helps, doesn't it? And then even to the extent of Sky TV and what do you do with technology? Are there better ways that we can integrate Netflix and the likes in a free view or an online sports option without the cost of Sky? And I have to give it to Sky. They've reduced their fees. They've halved them for a period of time, which has been wonderful. So those companies that are proactive around those little discounts in the short term will build a bit of loyalty in the long term. But we're certainly looking at everything, and we're pretty fortunate because we've got a new building that our LED lighting and power consumption is actually quite minimal. But what we've tried to do is really and I know we'll come to this a bit later in the internal communication pieces, but get the buy-in from our whole team around how our business is. We've been very transparent around the challenges we're facing. So we have brought them on board with, the costings of, what are we saving, what are we changing, and the reasons for that. And now they're coming up with their own innovative ways. So consciously, power saving is, you can put great processes in place and you can put some good tech in place, but everything comes at a cost. But if the team just buy into that, naturally more things will get turned off. They'll use only what they need, and it just becomes a culture. And we don't want a culture of cost reduction. I want a culture of revenue success and generation.
That's right.
So on the flip side of that, the team are very motivated to bring those dollars in. And also they're managing their own productivity from the roster. So they're sending each other home because they're saying, oh, hang on, no, you've worked too much this week and we've got to balance it. And let's get this right. So they don't want to, but they do want to. And everyone's working really hard to make sure that we will have jobs in the future.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. This point here, we could sort of go on forever because it covers, it's relevant to every department of our businesses, isn't it? But, it applies to the small things too, doesn't it? You take your small in-room products or whatever it might be. We don't want to compromise on product quality, but some things you're doing, like your bathrobe and slipper idea, things like that, we could consider, couldn't we?
Yeah. And there's, some other things as well. I think we've all got to review every line of our business now, and there are a whole lot of building warrant of furnace challenges and costs, fire, security, things like that. So it's a good chance to review those things too. And a simple example, if you think of our in-room air conditioning units that get serviced every quarter or every 6 months, and things like that. Well, we used to pay a company to come in, a mechanical company, to check our air conditioning units, to clean out all the filters in the room. So that would cost us, sort of $2,000-3,000 per time to do that. And of course they work well and we need to have them under the warrant. But we questioned that. We said, hey, can we just use you for that technical side of something breaks down or checking out our mechanical units? But can we use our team to clean up the filters? So we did. So we've got someone from housekeeping now who goes out and does that job, and that saves us $3,000 per year, which I'd rather put towards wages than put towards paying a specialist who charges $80-90 to do the same job, because it's a simple manual labor job. So there are ways in our businesses we can do that. Like I've had my team painting the staff room in some areas, but we're not compromising on quality. So we're still getting a painter in every week, even at this time we can't really afford to, because actually if you keep your product looking good, it's so much easier to clean it. So we save in the long run and we keep things good. So just a good chance to look at those probably, those sort of really solid repairs and maintenance costs that we just sort of assume we can't get around. I would question that and say that there are ways of reducing those, and that's easier than taking out an amenity from a room or reducing your coffee and things, because no one else is going to notice as long as everything's working.
Love that.
I love it. That's fantastic, isn't it, Joe?
I had just one other thing I had on that too was proactively reaching out to your providers, such as like your power and that kind of thing, insurance even, and seeing, letting them know that they have no doubt be aware of the situation currently, and you'll be surprised. I think we've proved it, Brent, definitely. You'll be surprised at how much you can gain out of just asking the question, saying, look, can you help us out?
And as Daniel mentioned before, it does engender that loyalty. It's a two-way street at the end of the day, isn't it? We're all here to help each other. That's great. Excellent tips here, Daniel. And which brings us on to effective and proactive communication. Daniel, I'm sure you've got a vast wealth of ideas to share here. This is both internally, but also proactively out to our potential guests as well.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, I think we've just been fairly transparent through this whole process around the challenges in the business, and we've just made sure that everyone is well aware of what we're doing, but also reassurance to the team as much as we can possibly give, because as much as we think we've communicated that message that we're applying for the wage subsidy and things will be okay, people still don't always know. And we've had team members come up and they've said, oh, is my job secure, because I know that we've actually had a few good weekends now and we're filling up, so can we still claim the wage subsidy? And they're really caring about those things. So sometimes it's just breaking down some of those myths and letting them know that things are all right. And I think we're just focusing on getting through to October, and then from that point on, we know that things will go really well. But I mean, the door's always open in my office, and for the rest of the team, we've only got a team of 12. We're all hands-on. We all work the front desk, and we all get on really well. So most of my team here in the hotel have been serving us for, we've been over 7 years, and I've been here for 7 years. Head housekeeper 6 years. One of our next housekeeper 5 years. We've got a sales and marketing manager too. You know, that he's been here for 4 years, and most of the team have been here for 2 or 3 years. So we're pretty lucky that we all get on, and we all actually have a really open stream of communication anyway, and there's no hierarchy in the space. We all have a role to play. And for James as our sales and marketing manager, he was our front office manager, that we just did that to give him that new opportunity and a new challenge. Him and I work on that commercial space together, and so we're always working on those things, and that's our role to ensure that happens, and we support the team operationally through those things. So I think that's really important internally. Externally, hey, we do everything. So hence why I get involved. I'm trying to do as much as we possibly can with the business community. So we work closely with our art gallery across the road. We have a close relationship with West End Precinct, and so I chair the West End Precinct, which is a collective of 20 restaurants, bars, retail, and the hotel in our area. And that's the New Plymouth's version of Auckland's Bread and Mart or Ponsonby Central, right? So we just have a PR and marketing team that we engage. We put a little bit of money in each month each, and we do some really cool marketing and promotions, and we bring media down, and we do social media and websites and events and all sorts of stuff. So that's really cool. So we use that channel a lot for our area comms, and we're really active in that space, like we are with our social media and our EDMs and things like that from an internal level, and making sure that we are using, we're using chatbots, we're using, the team have got Facebook up, and we're getting back to people because we're finding that all the bookings are now starting to come direct, which is really interesting. So people are more conscious of spending directly with the hotel. So that's been a really nice step change. And we're doing, stuff like LinkedIn and using those platforms as much as we possibly can from a professional business level, working with our regional development agency and promoter Venture Taranaki. So we're not taking anything for granted. We've gone and put a deal out on Grade 1 escapes, and we don't really want to sell anything on Grade 1 escapes. So I don't know I was listening to Grade 1 escapes, but it's just another way to get out to 1.8 million people. So we're featured in 6 or 7 media publications, local radio stations, talking about our business and what the Chamber of Commerce allows me to do, because I've been involved with that organisation now for 6 years, and last year I've been chair there. Is that we get some wonderful opportunities just to connect and do some neat things on a regional level around our One Taranaki strategy of regional tourism promotion, regional business, CBD development and growth. So I'm really fortunate that I sort of get to work in with those circles, and when you get to a situation like this, when as a group we've been trying to give back and be involved in the community, we're finding we get a lot of that support back at the times that we really need it. So it's been quite interesting. So it's been a lot of comms going on, and just again, it's 101. Have great relationships all the time, and then you can pull on those when you need to use them.
Excellent. Yeah, well, I love all that. I think what's come to me particularly is that you've been blessed, as you mentioned earlier, and you had some busy weekends, but not for lack of activity and getting out there by the sounds of it. You're really using every avenue you possibly can.
Thanks. And again, just to emphasise, it hasn't cost us much at all. We've been able to do probably more than we ever have in the past, just through some really creative ways of thinking. And there's no doubt at the moment, if you look at that New Zealand domestic market, there is a huge opportunity for us to capture that. All these people that can't go overseas, they're keen to do a holiday, and they're either going to go up and buy 3 Audis, or they're going to come spend the money in your hotel. So we want to capture that here, and we want to bring them to the region. But if we want to be successful, we have to meet the market, and the market at the moment is hurting. Everybody's hurting because there are job losses, there are economic strains, and people in some areas are struggling, but there's still an area that isn't. So we just have to be realistic that we're not going to get the rates we were getting this time, but we don't have to dilute that. We can just create some amazing packages and create 100 reasons for people to come here. And if you create 100 reasons, then you're going to get people traveling. And so far, since Queen's birthday weekend, we've filled up every single weekend so far at 100%. and our corporate market, of course, is struggling, but we're still building up, and we're still getting 3 or 4 walk-in bookings per night, and we're getting up to some nights we're only at 30, 40%, some nights we're at 80%. So far it's exceeded expectations, but we have spent the lockdown period developing a whole range of ideas, and the pain keeps on getting added to, and we're just using every possible means we can to get our name out, and so far it's worked.
Excellent, well done, congratulations, Daniel.
Oh, thanks, good team.
That's all we can say. Yeah, thank you. One more minute, we should wrap up. We'd be glad of any comments or questions from the audience. Throw your ideas in there or questions you might have for Daniel. But Josiah, do you have any more comments?
On this one, particularly about the proactive communication, we sort of discussed that you might want to, especially for the moteliers that are more in that corporate stage, what about reaching out to businesses that have had sales reps and that kind of thing stay with you in the past? Reach out to them, see what their plans are, find out about their businesses, maybe offer a deal with like Daniel's been doing some awesome package deals with local businesses. We'll maybe do one with a local conference provider, I don't know, something like that. And just that get in touch with those corporate customers that have used you in the past, and be proactive about it. Reach out to them, don't wait for them to get in touch with you. That was the only thought I had on that one.
It's good, Joe, and I can relate to that totally, actually, and many of you do it well. You travel to a region or country, city, wherever it might be, on a regular basis, and it's often occurred to me actually that sometimes let's try a new hotel or a new motel, and if only that one had actually perhaps called me or had a method of reaching out to me and saying, hey, just updating you on some new things we've done at our property. We talked 2 weeks ago on this webinar about sharing the, you might say, the raw data. So if you've refurbed your rooms or done some painting, just take a few photos and send it to your contacts. That's the sort of thing I want to see as a traveling person. Is that intelligent?
Is that creativity again, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's bang on. And you can even do some stuff like, just because it's all good to post some nice photos, and we should all be doing that and talk about those stories, but also what are some ways of increasing engagement, particularly on social media? And every time you give away something for free, it's awesome. I mean, we've got out to, generally if we give a free night out at the hotel and we do a promotion, everyone has to tag it, they have to share it, they have to like it. We combine an experience. So we normally do that with our food and beverage partners and create a nice experience that's more than just a room. And we can get out to 50,000 people just from one promotion like that.
Wow.
And Plymouth's only a population of 80,000, so that's something we're getting good followings from Auckland, Wellington, Waikato, Christchurch, and that stuff spreads. So suddenly, so I challenge everybody through their social media and their channels to be unique and create a point of difference and do something that entices people to actively want to engage with you, because everyone loves something for free. And as much as it might be, oh no, that's going to cost me, we've got rooms sitting there empty at the moment, so get people in and invite people to come and stay. Invite your sales reps, hey, this one's on me, and if you come and stay this time, then we'll this is what it is, or we'll stay for 3 nights and pay for 2, because the cost difference really is not going to be huge around linen and servicing those rooms.
Excellent, fantastic. Thank you, Daniel. I think that we're a smidgen over time, so we should wrap up. We very much appreciate you coming on board, Daniel, and Josiah for contributing too. But essentially, chin up, we can do this, New Zealand. I think we just wanted to make a comment, didn't we, that whilst there's tough times ahead, no doubt, we can't sugarcoat that. We have to navigate our way through this for the next few months. But I think we can say that at least the worst of the health crisis is hopefully behind us. And let's look positively forward, and some of the things Daniel has shared with us, try and apply them in our businesses. And we can do it. We can absolutely do it. And there's proof that many of you are.
Awesome.
It's a good time to be positive, isn't it? And I think we all, initially we were expecting for the worst, because we don't know what is to come, but there's definitely a market there at the moment, and our market is domestic. So everyone should get excited about the opportunity. If you look back at June last year, for regions such as New Plymouth, people don't normally travel at this time of year, and then you get off and you go skiing in July. So now that people can't go overseas, we're not competing against the overseas market anymore. We're not getting as many people into the country, but there is a huge opportunity to capture this local market. So make it enticing, get excited about it, and because there's no doubt we're gonna have a few challenging months, but there is a lot of awesome business out there if you just go hunting for it.
Love it. Thanks, Daniel. Get excited. Go out there and get it. And you can do it. You can all do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. We'll wrap the session up, and we host these every second Tuesday, so 2 weeks from now. Please join us. And let me say too, if you're travelling to the Taranaki, to New Plymouth specifically, consider King and Queen Suites.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks, Josiah.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.